Hello boys and girls, a very good evening and welcome to this live session on English Comprehension for your SSC CGL exam brought to you by TalentSprint. I hope all of you are in good health and your preparation for all these upcoming exams is in high gear. I see a lot of you have joined the chat already and there's some interaction that's going on, which is always good to see. Looks like there's some confusion about the PGDBF exam for Bank of Baroda, which I could see through the chat, but then a lot of you there in the chat there, so welcome everyone, and like I said, I hope all of you are doing well. For the benefit of those who have recently joined our program, enrolled in our online program, let me mention that these are your refresher classes, right? What we do here is discuss the questions that were asked in the all India mock exams which are conducted over the weekends. Right? For example, the last weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we had conducted two all India level mock exams. One was for SSC CGL Tier 1 and the other one was for SBI Clerks main examination. Right? Both of these are the upcoming exams. So what we do in these refresher sessions is take up questions that were asked in the all India mock exams and discuss those here using smart methods or the best approaches. Right? So that's what we are going to do in this session as well. Right? This is for English comprehension, right? We have already done our sessions on quantitative aptitude, general intelligence and reasoning, general awareness for SSC CGL, and we have also done sessions on same quantitative aptitude, reasoning ability, general awareness in banking for the SBI Clerks main exam. Today we will be having two sessions, both of which will be on English language, one for SSC CGL and the other one for SBI Clerks main examination. And yes, getting to the point now, don't worry, I am not going to deal with these two sessions for you because that's not my cup of tea. I am only good at numbers, which all of you must be aware of. So who's going to do these two sessions for you? If you had joined the session yesterday, you would know that we have a new colleague who's joined our team for handling your sessions related to English language, and she's Vaishnavi Pandey. You must be aware that Sylvia ma'am is on a break for a few months owing to her delivery, which happened a couple of weeks back, right? So for those who are unaware, there's a good news. Your dear Sylvia ma'am has delivered a baby boy on the 5th of July and both of them are doing really good, right? So congratulations once again to both of them from the team TalentSprint and from all of you. And till she is back, we have Vaishnavi Pandey who will be handling your sessions related to bank and SSC exams, as well as the doubts clarification session from the next week onwards. So without wasting a second anymore, let me call Vaishnavi to join me in this session and then hand it over. So here we have Vaishnavi.
Hello everyone.
Yeah, so here's Vaishnavi. I think she has trained more than 80,000 students in brick and mortar physical classrooms over the last 5-6 years, I guess. Okay. Yeah. So she's been doing business communication and verbal ability sessions for students who are preparing for various types of competitive exams, right? And all these students have been in person, right, in a physical classroom. So I think she's got a great experience in dealing with this particular competency, and I'm sure she'll add a lot of value to your learning here as well. So over to you, Vaishnavi. I think this is your first session, so all the very best, right?
Thank you.
She's been working with TalentSprint for a long time in our other programs, but now that Sylvia is off for some time, I think Vaishnavi will take care of your sessions here. So all the best, and thank you for joining us on such a short notice.
Thank you.
So guys, I'm sure you'll have a great session and you'll love learning from Vaishnavi. So all the best, and I'll see you all in the next session. Until then, Vaishnavi is here to take care of your questions related to English language. Right? Thank you.
Yeah. Well, hello everyone. As Rohit sir pointed out, my name is Vaishnavi and I will be handling your session. So I think all of you attended the SSC mock test last week. And we are going to, without any further delay, we are going to start discussing the questions. Okay, hello everyone, hello. Such a warm welcome, thank you. So without any further delay, let's get started with the questions. I'm sure it was a cakewalk for all of you. But for those who found a little bit difficulty in attempting the questions, no worries, I'm here to clarify all your doubts. The first question. In the following questions, out of the 4 alternatives, choose the one which can be suited or for the given words or sentences. Substituted or suited. Okay. Now the first question is one word substitution question. So what suit are we talking about? We are talking about filing a lawsuit, right? So what are the options? Let's look at the options one by one. Yes, a lot of you have given the answers as plaintiff. It is correct. But let's just discuss the questions for everyone. Charger. Someone rightly pointed it out. It is a power equipment. An equipment that you use to charge battery. Right. The second meaning of charger is the horse that a knight rides. Okay, I hope all of you know the meaning of the word knight. Knight and knight are homonyms. How many of you are familiar with what are homonyms? Just to clarify, if you do not know what are homonyms, homonyms are words that have the same name. Now, homonyms are again subdivided into 2 categories. There are homophones and homographs. Homophones are words that sound the same, homo and phone. Homo means same and phone is sound. And homographs are words that are written the same. Homograph, homo, same. Graph is nothing but writing. So knight and knight are homographs. Yes, that's the meaning of charger. So it's definitely not charger. Okay. Which part of speech is charger? Charger is nothing but noun. Okay. Let's look at the second example, second option. Second option is suitor. Now, what is the meaning of suitor? Again, suitor has 2 meanings. It is again a noun. Suitor, the first meaning of suitor is a man who pursues a relationship with a particular woman with a view to marriage. Okay, so someone who is, for example, my friend decided to marry her suitor. So, a suitable partner, okay? The second meaning of suitor is, with which I want you guys to make a sentence on it, is a prospective buyer of a business or corporation. So, someone who wants to buy a particular business or someone who wants to buy a particular company, right? So, can you make a sentence on the second meaning of suitor? Anyone? Okay. Till we do that, let's go to the third option. As you guys have already pointed it out, it is plaintiff. Plaintiff is also a noun. What is the meaning of plaintiff? Plaintiff means a person who brings a case against another in a court of law. Okay. Now, what are the synonyms of plaintiff? Can you tell me? There are many synonyms of plaintiff. You can also call, the first synonym could be a petitioner. Second could be a litigator. Then could be a suer and litigant. Okay? Very important word. Petitioner, litigator or suer. Now, petitioner is, who's a petitioner? A petitioner is, what is a petition? Let's talk about what is a petition. A petition is a formal written request for, typically signed by everyone for a certain, appealing for authority, appealing to the authority for a certain cause, okay, is petition. And petitioner is someone who files the petition. What are the antonyms of, now let's look at the antonyms of plaintiff. Yes, someone who files petition in court. You guys are right. Now, what will be antonyms? Someone who defends. So, defendant. Respondent are the two antonyms of it. Okay, now let's go to the next word, shall we? The last word is accuser. Now, as the word says, it is very similar to plaintiff. Accuser is only someone who accuses, does not file a suit, but just someone who accuses. Okay, so it is clearly mentioned that from the given explanation that we just did, it is clearly evident that plaintiff will be the right answer. All right, let's move on to the next question. Yes. So one word substitution for a person who abstains completely from alcoholic drinks. So someone who does not take any alcoholic beverages or drinks. Okay. So the options that we have is teetotaler, derelict, subjunctive, and incriminatory. Okay, so let's look at the options one by one. Very common word, very important word. Teetotaler is someone who abstains from drinking, but we will just, for the convenience sake, we will look at all the other options as well. Okay, so what is the meaning of derelict? Now, which part of speech is teetotaler? Teetotaler is a noun. Okay, derelict is an adjective. Subjunctive is again an adjective. And incriminator is the verb of incriminatory. Okay, now what is the meaning of derelict? Derelict is in a very poor condition as a result of disuse and neglect. Okay, so we can say a person, we can also say for derelict is a person who's in a bad shape or does not have a home or lives on the street is a derelict. Okay, now let's look at the next option. Subjunctive. What is the meaning of subjunctive? Subjunctive is relating to or denoting a mood of verbs expressing what is imagined or wished. So clearly this cannot be the right answer or even possible. It is nowhere related to alcohol or drinking. Now the last one. Let's look at the last option, incriminatory. What is the meaning of incriminatory? It means to accuse of or present proof of a crime or fault. For example, you can say he was incriminated by his own friend. So someone who has given proof against his own friend is an incriminator. Okay. Right. I don't think there is anything else to be discussed in these words. Very nice words, important words. So the right answer for a person who abstains, what is the meaning of abstain? Someone who does not do something. Okay. And avoids it completely. Okay, so a person who abstains completely from alcoholic drinks is a teetotaler. Okay, now let's look at shall we go to the next question? The Mahabharata is a long poem based on a noble theme. So, what are these types of words called? What are these types of stories called? Sorry. What are these types of story called? Okay, is it called a summary? Is it called a story? Is it called a narration? Or is it called epic? Okay. Most of you already know the answer. You guys are very smart. So, but still, just for convenience of everyone, let's discuss all the words. Okay. So, what is a summary? A summary is a brief account of something. Okay, a brief account. For example, every book has a synopsis or a summary given at the end of the book. Yes, a brief story. Now, a lot of us think that we know the meaning of the word story because it is very, very common word. But what does it actually mean? Story is just a tale. Yes. What is narration? Narration is the action of narrating a story. Got it? Okay, and finally epic. Now what is epic? Epic means, we have always used this word many times, like the movie was epic. The game that happened between India and Pakistan was epic. Okay, so what is the meaning of the word epic? Epic means a long poem which is typically derived from ancient oral tradition, narrating the deeds of heroic figures. Or past history of a probably nation. Okay, so the tale was epic, or the epic tale we can say. Okay, so Mahabharata is a long poem based on a noble theme. So the most apt answer for that would be option number 4, that is epic. Shall we go to the next question? Take great pleasure. Someone who takes great pleasure in something. Okay, so take great pleasure. Let's look at what part of speech are all these options. Revel. What is the meaning of revel? Revel is, first, it is verb, so it is an action. Satisfied is an adjective. Uphold is a verb. And appall, it is appall and it is not appall or appall. Okay, appall overhaul is a verb, not appall, overhaul, sorry, is a verb again. Okay, so revel in something, what is the meaning of revel? Revel means enjoy, oneself in a lively or noisy way, especially with drinking and dancing. So, anyone who can give me synonyms for revel? We have feast, we have party, we can also say synonym could be make merry. All these are synonyms of revel, okay? So take great pleasure. Let's keep this option as open, okay, because it also suggests taking great pleasure. Let's look at the second option, satisfied. You know what is the meaning of satisfied, right? It means contented. Someone who's very satisfied is very contented. Yes. What is the meaning of uphold? Uphold means something confirm, confirm, okay, is feast fest? No, they are two different things. Feast is a party. Usually the kings used to throw a feast instead of party, so it's an occasion where they used to have lots of food and beverages to drink, and they used to make merry. That is a feast. Fest is something that is organized in a college, is fest. Okay, I hope I have clarified your doubt. Confirm, uphold means confirm or support. And overhaul means take apart. And why do we take apart? We take apart to probably repair something. That is overhaul. So machines, we overhaul machines to repair them. Okay, for the purpose of repairing is overhaul. So definitely it is not overhaul. It is not talking about confirming something, so it is not uphold. It is not talking about how contented a person is, so it is not satisfied. The answer will be revel. So let's go to the next question. Okay, the next question is during his long... Okay, what do you have to do here? In the following questions, a sentence, part of the sentence is printed in bold. Okay, there's nothing printed in bold. I will tell you which is the word that... I'm sure all of you know which word is to be done in bold. Okay, anyways, bold. Below are the given alternatives to the bold sentence, part of the sentence at 1, 2 and 3, which may improve the sentence. Choose the correct alternative. In case no improvement is needed, your answer is 4. That is no improvement. Okay. During his long discourse, he did not touch the central idea of the topic. Okay. So if there is no improvement needed, if the sentence is completely fine and there is no mistake at all, then you have to click the answer, you have to tick on the answer 4, option 4. So how many of you think there is no mistake in this statement? It looks absolutely fine if you do not take a very careful look. If you do not take a very careful glance, it looks absolutely fine. But yes, there is a mistake, and many of you think there is no mistake, but there is a mistake. Let's look at what is the mistake, okay? Now, it says, during his long discourse. What is the meaning of the word discourse? Can anyone tell me? it is written or spoken, communication, or a debate. Okay, so the sentence suggests that he had a long conversation, or he spoke for a long time, and during his long conversation he did not touch the central idea of the topic. Now, did not touch. Now, touch is something that is a very tangible thing. You can touch things, but you cannot touch idea or a topic, right? So this is the problem. Did not touch the central idea. So we will have to look at the options. Will it be touch in? Now these are, if we combine a verb with a preposition, it becomes phrasal verbs. Okay, so these are the phrasal verbs that are the option. Touch in, definitely not. We have two options here that look very, very similar. Touch in and touch upon. Okay, touch off, there is no such phrasal verb. Touch off. Touch in, again, not something that will be apt for this situation. Touch upon or touch on, touch upon or touch on means to mention. Okay, let me just write that down. Okay, so it means to mention or deal with a subject. Okay, so the phrasal verb touch upon is the right answer. So the answer will be option number 3. Okay, no, it is not touch off. Those of you who think it is touch off, it is not touch off. There is no such phrasal verb. Okay, now we have the next question. Same type of question where you are given 4 options and the 4th option is no improvement. Okay, the sight of the lizard is hateful to me. Now, and the word that is bold is hateful. What is the meaning of hateful? It definitely means full of hate. So anything that is full has the suffix full. It means full of something. So full of hate. And there is another suffix, ous. This also means full of something. So if I say delicious, it means full of delicacy. If I say malicious, it means full of malice. Okay, so the sight of lizard is hateful to me. Now, why would you hate a lizard? Okay, hatred comes out of probably something that has gone wrong with something. It does not have to do with disgusting. Okay, because the sight of lizard should be disgusting and not hateful, right? So let's look at the first option, repulsion. What is repulsion? Which part of speech is repulsion? Repulsion is a noun, okay, and hateful is an adjective. Okay, so it has to be replaced by an adjective. First one is repulsion, which is a noun. Second is repulsive, which is an adjective. Third is repulse, which is verb. So the same word has been used thrice in different forms. So which form will you use? You just have to replace it with a suitable word. That means you do not have to change the form of the word, which you do not have to change the part of speech of the word. So it will definitely, without even looking at the options or understanding what each word means, you can clearly see that option number 2 is the right answer, because you will replace an adjective with an adjective. Okay. So repulsion is a noun. What is the meaning of repulsive? It means yes. So this is something that we were looking for, disgust, arousing intense distaste or disgust. So the right answer is option number 2, disgust. All right. Repulsive, I'm so sorry. Repulsive, which means disgust. Okay. Now, let's go to the next question. This one was pretty simple. I hope all of you followed this one as well. Now let's go on to the next question. Again, you have to see if there is no improvement required, or if there is an improvement required, where is the improvement required? Okay. So we did not see is the part that is bold. We did not see this movie yet. Now, I hope all of you are very well versed with tenses, because most of the questions are related to tenses. Very common question type in error spotting as well as sentence improvement. Okay, so we did not see this movie yet. This is talking about a past action. So something that you have not done yet should be in present perfect form. Okay, because something that you have not done yet, and present perfect form is have not seen. So present perfect form, if you remember, has have or has. It has subject plus have or has plus past participle, which is V3 form of verb. We have, let's say this is V1, V2, V3. V1, let's take it as go form, went form, and gone form. So here we use, in present perfect, we use V3 form, which is gone form plus object. Okay, so we have not seen the movie yet, right? That is the correct answer. So option number 2 is the improvement that has to be made in this question. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. Okay. Okay. So the next one is, unless they modify the system, our future generations will suffer. So the word that is bold is unless they modify the system. Okay, so the options are unless the system is modified, unless the system will be modified, if the system will not be modified, and no improvement. Now, unless the system is modified, unless they modify the system. So when we say unless they modify the system, who are we talking about here? We do not know. So it would be better if we put it in passive voice. I hope all of you understand active voice and passive voice. In active voice, it is the simple formulation is subject plus verb plus object. And in passive voice, it becomes object plus supporting verb plus main verb plus object. Okay, so here we are going to use passive voice because we are not clear with who are they when we talk about the system being modified. It cannot be if, because if is just a condition. What is the meaning of unless? What is the difference between unless and if? This means, as I told you, this is a condition. Unless is also a condition, but this means except if. So there's only, when we talk about unless, there is no other go other than this, modify the system. That is the only go. But if we say if is just a condition, so either this or that. Okay, so it will definitely not be option number 3, it will not be option number 2. So unless the system is modified is the correct answer. Our future generations will suffer. Got it? Okay. Let's move on to the next question. Okay. I usually did not take sugar in my tea. I told you that in most of the cases, in most of the sentence improvement cases and most of the error spotting cases, the most common type of errors or the improvement that you get is from tenses. Okay, so you should be very, very thorough with your tenses. Alright, so let's look at the question. Back to the question again. I usually did not take sugar in my tea. Now, when we talk about recurring action or something that you do as a habit, a general habit, or when we talk about routine, or when we talk about universal truth, which tense do we use? We use simple present tense. So in all these 3 cases, we will always use simple present tense and not any other tense. And if you look at the question, did not take sugar. Now, did not take is not in present form, definitely. Present form of did is do. So the correct answer will be do not take. It will not be takes. It will be do not take sugar. Alright. Option number 1 is the suitable answer. So when we talk about general habit, when we talk about routine, and when we talk about universal truth, we use simple present tense. Just for your convenience, I will write the formulation as well. Formulation of simple present tense is subject plus, like I discussed earlier, V1 form of verb and object. Now, there's something that people tend to forget when we are talking about simple present tense is, okay, let's look at, I hope all of you know what are the 3 types of person. Do you know what are the 3 types of person? First person, second person, and third person. Okay. Now these 3 types of person, who is the first person? Just moving a little away from the topic, but it is very necessary that we understand this concept really, really well. What is first person? First person is the person who's talking. So the person, like here I am talking, so it will be I. And if there are many people talking with me, it will be we. Okay, I is singular and we is plural. So who's second person? Second person is the person who I am talking to. So you is the second person, and third person is the person who I'm talking about. So it becomes he, she, it, or they. These are the pronouns. Now, when we talk about simple present tense, when we talk about third person singular number, that is he, she, and it, what happens is with the verb we use an S or an ES. So I can say I go to college, she goes to college. Okay, he goes to college. I play the guitar, he plays the guitar, she plays the guitar. Okay, I hope this is clear. Please remember this. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, the next question is you have to spot the error. In the following questions, some of the sentences have errors and some have none. Find out which part of a sentence has an error. The number of that part is your answer. If there is no error, your answer is 4. That is no error. Okay. Let's look at the question. Part of the research program involved interviewing teenagers in inner city areas. Okay. Part of the research program. Okay. This is, we are talking about a general phenomena or a general provision, or we are talking about a general rule. Okay. So in that case also we will use simple present or present simple. So part 1 has no error because part of the research program sounds absolutely fine. Involved interviewing teenagers. Now involved has an ed suffix, which means it is in the past tense, and like I said, simple present tense does not have an ed form. Okay, so where is the error? The error is in option number 2, involved. Instead of involved, it will be involves. Yes. Okay, pretty simple. Let's look at the next question. The next question is, I could not put up at a hotel because the board and lodging charging were too expensive. Okay. Now, I could not put up. What is the meaning of the phrasal verb put up? Put up means temporary stay. R-A-R-Y, sorry. Temporary stay. Okay. So I could not put up in at a hotel, sorry, because the board and lodging. Okay, this is a combination, board and lodging. So usually they both occur in the same form, boarding and lodging. And there is another mistake. Instead of charging, it should be charges. Were expensive, were too expensive. What is the other word for expensive? Exorbitant. Okay, so this one is pretty simple because the error is right in front of your face. Because the board and lodging charging, it absolutely sounds wrong as well. So the error is in option number 2, that is, it should be boarding and lodging charges. Alright, let's move on to the next question. Okay, now we are dealing with idioms and phrases. I hope all of you know the meaning of what is an idiom and what is a phrase. If you do not, let me just refresh it for you. Okay, let's deal with phrases first. What are phrases? phrases are small group of words standing together as a conceptual unit. Okay, these are small group of words that always are used together. For example, if I say break up, you cannot change it to break down. They are always used together. Okay, so phrases are nothing but small group of words standing together as a conceptual unit. Yes. So what are idioms? Idioms are something that is having a meaning not deducible. What is the meaning of deducible? Deduce. That means something that cannot be understood from those of the individual words. So it does not have a literal meaning, it does not go by literal meaning, it goes by literary meaning. It is not directly linked to the words. Those are idioms. Now we can also say it this way: all idioms are phrases, but all phrases are not idioms. Got it? Okay. Now let's look at the options that we have. I hope the concept of idioms and phrases are clear to all of you. Okay. To throw dust in one's eye. Okay. So, like I said, this is nothing but, is it an idiom or is it a phrase? Syllogism concept. Yes, it was a syllogism concept. To throw dust in one's eye is an idiom. Yes. So to throw dust in one's eye does not have the literal meaning. That does not mean literally someone is taking dust and throwing in someone's eyes. It has a literary meaning or figurative meaning, which means to deceive someone. Okay, and what is the meaning of deceive? So deceive means okay. So a very commonly used word. A lot of people do not know the meaning of deceive. Deceive means deliberately cause to believe in something that is not true. So fabricating something, cheating something, like you guys are saying. Yes, the synonyms can be probably cheat, the other synonym which is very important is swindle. Okay, swindle is another, or defraud is another synonym for deceive. So yes, this is an idiom which means to deceive someone. So the right option will be option number 2, to deceive. Okay, to show false things. Okay, so to show false things means taking someone and showing someone something that is not true. That is not what deceiving is. Deceiving is making something, someone believe something that is not actually there. Okay, so it is not just about seeing, it is about anything. Okay, it does not just deal with the eyes. So it will not be option number 3 because it just talks about eyes. On the other hand, deceiving is not just related to the eyes. Okay. Let's do. I hope I have clarified your doubt. Dushyant, I hope I have clarified your doubt. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. He is a cut above all the other boys in the group. Why did I say he is a cut above all the other boys and not the? The pronunciation of the word the, changes with, depends on the word next to it. If it is a vowel sound that comes after the word, after the, it becomes the. So that's why he's a cut above all the other boys in the group. So what is the meaning of a cut above? What is the meaning of a cut above? Someone who's, is it quite taller than? No, it does not have to deal with, it does not deal with tall or being short in any ways. More active, again, not to do anything with agility or activeness. A little rougher than, again, I don't think it has anything to deal with rough. The only option is rather superior to. Okay, someone who is better at something or than anybody or somebody. Okay, so cut above means someone who's better than other. So here it will be he's better than the other boys in the group, or rather superior to the others. Now, there's a word that a lot of people get confused. What is the difference between rather and quite? What is the difference? Okay. Just for your knowledge, quite is to a significant degree. And this is somewhat to a certain degree. Yeah, both are intensifiers, correct, but there is a difference between which one is with more intensity, and quite is more intense than rather. Okay, so this is significant degree, this is to a certain degree. Okay, another use of rather is also used for negative ideas. Okay, for example, the food, let's say someone prepares very bad food and you do not like your neighbor's probably the food that she prepares, and you go to her house one day, she invites you for lunch, and you go to her house one day and you taste the food, and the food was not as you expected. It was probably better than what you expected. So you can say the food was rather good, okay, or something like that. Okay, so rather is a negative idea, and it is also used as positive for, it means usually or surprisingly, yes. So the same sentence can be apt for surprisingly as well. Okay, okay. Okay, the cake is rather nice. Another example, the cake is rather nice means, again, out of surprise, you were not expecting the cake to be that nice or delicious, and you were surprised by it. Okay, so, but quite, okay, so it goes like this: rather, quite, and very. Okay, so the intensity of rather is less than quite, and the intensity of quite is less than very. Got it? Okay. It would be easier if you explain this with examples, man. I am explaining you with examples. You need more examples, please do let me know. Okay. All right. Okay, for example, I'll give you another example. For quiet, we can say you should wear a jacket because it is quite cold. That means it is not very cold, but it is quite cold. Okay, the intensity is more than rather. If I use you should wear a jacket, it is rather cold. That means it is slightly cold. Okay, got it? Let's go on to so the answer for this one, sorry, he is a cut above all the other boys. It will be option number 4, rather superior to. All right, let's go to the next one. The next one is, if you read between the lines, you will appreciate what he writes. Okay, there's a mistake over here. What he writes. Okay, so what is the meaning of read between the lines? Read between the lines, can it mean can read leaving lines in between? Of course not. This is also an idiom which does not go by literal meaning. Another example, there are many idioms that we know of, thousands of idioms. So there are many examples. It's raining cats and dogs. Let's paint the town red. Show your true colors. All these are examples of idioms. Okay, so read between the lines means know what the writer thinks. Okay, it means to know exactly what he means and not just go by word. Okay, exactly like idioms. I don't think there's much to discuss in this one. Most of you got the right answer. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, now a lot of people have problem pronouncing this word itself. Cantankerous. What is the word? It is cantankerous. Okay. What is the meaning of the word cantankerous? Cantankerous is an adjective. Okay. Which means someone who is bad-tempered, argumentative, and uncooperative. Okay, so someone who is very rude to people, and so you can say he has a cantankerous attitude. Okay, so let's look at the options. Option 1, noisy. Noisy is just loud sound. It does not deal with temper. Okay, so it will not be option number 1. Then we have quarrelsome, rash, disrespectful. Now, what is the meaning of the word quarrelsome? Quarrelsome is also an adjective, which means acting or done without careful consideration or possible consequences is... Okay. Quarrelsome means someone who is characterized by quarreling. Okay, so someone who's always quarreling is quarrelsome. Okay, someone like cantankerous person. Okay, so yes, option number 2 is the right answer, quarrelsome. What is the meaning of rash? Rash is something that is done without thinking or giving it a proper thought. Probably reckless, someone who is a reckless behavior, or it can be an impulsive behavior. Okay, so reckless, impulsive, all these are synonyms of rash. Disrespectful, I'm sure all of you know what is disrespectful, and that is not the very significant attitude of a cantankerous person. The significant attitude would be bad-tempered. Okay. When water tank comes, people quarrel for water. Sony, when water tank comes, people quarrel for water. Okay, I think you were okay. That was a very nice statement. Let's move on to the next question. Next question is vocation. Okay, what is the meaning of the word vocation? You have to choose the word that is most apt for a synonym for vocation. So is it examination, seminar, occupation, or holiday? So vocation of a person is nothing but the profession or occupation of the person, a type of work you believe in, especially suitable for you, is vocation. So it will not be examination, it will not be seminar. So you can say probably I have a thing for or I have a vocation for training. Okay, that means I'm meant for training, I love training. This is the occupation that I would choose. Okay, the right answer is occupation, not even holiday. So nothing much to discuss over here. Let's quickly move on to the next question. Okay. Next is honest. Now, a lot of people think that words like this are pretty simple, so there is no point of discussing these words. But let me tell you, these are the most confusing words because the options are very much related to each other. Okay, so you will find a lot of similarity and a lot of people get confused with which one is the right option. For example, right here, honest, the options that you have to choose from are authentic, upright, direct, and actual. So let's look at each option very carefully because, again, like I said, they are very similar to each other. Okay, so what is the meaning of authentic? Authentic is something which is original and not a copy. Okay, something that is original and not a copy. Okay, so it cannot be, honesty is not something original. An honest man is not an original man. An honest man is he upright? What is the meaning of upright? Upright means nothing but sitting straight, sitting with the back straight. Okay, so definitely not upright. We usually use upright with piano, the upright piano and things like that. Authentic diamond jewelry is authentic. And direct. What is the meaning of direct? It means straightforward. So an honest man not necessarily has to be straightforward. Okay? Does he? No, he does not. And actual means existing in fact. Okay, honest is something that is truth. Truth is a fact. It is actual. So yes, it will be actual. Option number 4. Okay. Or the other meaning is real. Okay. So I hope this one is clear. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is, in the following questions, sentences are given with blanks to be filled with an appropriate word or words. 4 alternatives are suggested for each question. Choose the correct alternative out of the 4 as your answer. Okay, so again 4 options are given to you. So you have to fill in the blanks with the most appropriate answer. Okay, the sound effects dash by the recording directors. Okay, so you have to fill in with whichever is most suitable. Now again we can see the use of tense. So been, there's being, there's are, and there's provided. Okay, so which one would be most appropriate? the sound effect dash by the recording directors. Now this sounds like something that is done on a usual basis. Okay, something we are talking about a usual occurrence. So in that sense, we will use are provided. Okay, again we will use simple present. Yes, most of you got it right. It'll be simple present. That is are provided. Let's move on to the next question. She heard the dash of the hinges. Now what are hinges? Can anyone tell me what are hinges? Hinges are nothing but the movable joint. It is the movable joint which of a door which helps you to open and close the door. Okay, helps you in probably moving the door from one side to the other. So those are hinges. So she heard. So we are talking about sound, and the different kinds of sound. The options that we have got are these sounds: rattling, rustling, crashing, and creaking. Now, the meaning of rattling. What is the meaning of rattling? It means a series of short, loud. Okay. Short and loud sounds. So, for example, rattling cups and saucers. Another example could be the rattling snake, the rattlesnake. Why is it called the rattlesnake? Because its tail, it rattles, it makes a sound. Yes. So what is rustling? You must have heard rustling of the leaves. That means the leaves that have gone dry, they make a soft, muffled creaking sound. So when you stamp on it, they make soft, muffled creaking sound. Okay, usually leaves and papers make those sound. So a soft, muffled, not creaking, it will be cracking sound. Sorry. Cracking sound. Okay, now what is crashing? Crashing is a loud sound made by something that is falling or breaking. So crashing of the cups, or crashing of the glass plates, or crashing of the plane. So it is a loud sound. Loud noise made by something falling or breaking. Okay, and finally we have creaking. Creaking is a sound that is made by doors. It's that whenever we watch horror movies, we see what happens in horror movies is these sound effects are mostly of creaking doors, rattling of plates and cups. So creaking is the sound that doors make. Okay, that terrifying sound. So the correct answer will be creaking. Okay, I hope it is clear. Okay, I hope it is clear. These are the questions I thought you guys might have problem in, or might need a little help in. If you have any more doubts, you can probably ask them in the next session. For now, I think I have clarified most of the doubts. I hope you enjoyed the session, and we will be back in a few minutes. I will take a short break and then we will be back.